What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another Moralis tutorial video. Today, let's just get straight into this one. We have on the screen casted my telephone, and then I have Polygon Scan open over here where I can make a transaction with the smart contract and making a new donation. So let's start by making a new donation of 2 Matic, let's say. Write that. And then MetaMask prompts us, do we actually want to make this donation of 2 Matic? We can confirm that. And now we can start waiting for this transaction to go through. Here you see in MetaMask it's pending. And now that it's gone through, we should actually get a text message over here on the right on my phone. And look at that, we get a new text message over here. Let's open this. I've set up a Twilio account, so it's coming from a Twilio account, but we get a new donation of 2 Matic from this address, 0x4d2, 0x4d2. How cool is that? And you know what? It's powered by Moralis, listening to on-chain events and then being able to trigger events like SMS is being sent. But it's not limited to SMS. We can also trigger a webhook, a email, or then an SMS. These are the 3 we're going to go through today. So without further ado, let's just get into this. Of course, first we'll go to Moralis over here. Let's put this full screen, make it a bit larger for you guys. So you'll want to create a new account or log in if you already have an account, and that will take you to your Moralis admin dashboard. Here we can create a new server. We'll create it on the testnet because we'll launch a testnet contract. We'll call it SMS test and Polygon Mumbai testnet. Select a region over here and add that instance. So now that you have your Moralis server being created, we can have a quick look at the contract that we created. Of course, you can look at any wallet if they make a transfer or purchase of a token or whatever, but in this case, we'll just create this contract and listen to this donate event, and anytime that triggers, we'll trigger our SMS and email functionality. So in this contract, we simply have one address that's a payable, who's the owner of the smart contract set in the constructor over here, and we have an event where we get an address of who the donation was from and the amount that was donated. And then the function is a simple function, payable public function, where the amount of the message value is sent to the owner of the contract. And then we emit this donate event with the sender and the message value, of course, divided by the decimals. So now we go back to our Moralis admin dashboard, and I'll zoom it in for you so you can see nice and big. And our SMS test server is ready. And what we want to do is start listening to our smart contract that we've deployed. And how we do that is go over here to sync and add a new sync and watch contract events. Polygon by testnet, description, new donation, watch. We don't need to sync historical events because we only want to look at the events that are going to happen from here on out. And for the topic, we go back to our Remix Ethereum IDE. We get this donate event over here and provide that as the topic over here. And we don't need the variable names. We just need the variable types. So we delete these. And now we have our topic. For the ABI, we can go to Remix, and where we've compiled the Solidity code, we get the ABI, which we can copy from there, go back to our admin board and paste that in over there. We only need the donate event, which is this one, so we can delete all the other bits and bobs. Next, they're asking for the address of the deployed contract. We get that where we deployed it in Remix, donation example, copy that, address. And now finally for the table name, we'll just call it new donations. And that should have us set up. We confirm and wait for that to create our sync event to watch our smart contract and any transactions that happen on chain for it. Beautiful. So now the donation event is synced to our Moralis server. So anytime it's triggered, we update our dashboard, so our data table, with a new donation. So clearly we haven't had anyone run the public payable function yet, the donate function. So if we can actually try this out. We go over and open back up the smart contract. Over here, we can make a new donation, say donate 1 Matic, write that, MetaMask asks us, do we actually want to do this? On chain, live, we confirm, wait for it to go through, currently pending. That's gone through, beautiful. And now we close that, refresh our data table, and look at that, new donations. We have a new donation with an amount of 1 Matic and from our address that we ran the function with. Now that we have our database updating every time an event occurs on the blockchain, we can go ahead and create a cloud function that triggers some action or webhook when this data table is saved. So if we go back to our Moralis admin dashboard, go to our cloud functions over here, we can start creating a new cloud function. So as we discussed, we want a function that's triggered every time our new donations data table is updated or saved. So we can write a Moralis cloud function called moralis.cloud.beforeSave. So this indicates that before our new donations data table is saved, we always run this specific arrow function, and it takes as arguments request, which is the object that is going to be saved into this new donations data table. And then we can just write our logic, what we want to do. Let's just zoom in so you see a little bit better. And first of all, I just want to show you how easy it is to call a webhook inside one of these triggers. So what you do is simply just call moralis.cloud.http request, and then in here you just call your endpoint URL. Here I've just created a simple webhook using Google Sheets that increments my Google Sheet every time this endpoint is called. So now we have a webhook inside our cloud function, which is triggered every time the new donations tab updates. If we save this, we wait for our cloud function to update. And now that that's done, we can do a little bit of a demonstration. Go over here. Here I have my Google Sheets with this donations. Currently we only have 1 donations, but it will increment every time we call that endpoint. So now if we do that Moralis trigger to call this endpoint, we do a new donation. So we do a new transaction here on Polygon. Let's say 1 Matic, write that. MetaMask prompts us to confirm the transaction. We confirm, we make that 1 Matic donation. And now as we wait for this transaction to go through, it's still pending. Cool, now it's complete. And if we go back to our sheets, because we called our webhook in Moralis cloud functions, now this is incremented to 2. Now let's go back here to our Moralis admin dashboard and open our cloud functions. So basically we have this trigger, new donations, and then inside we write any functionality we want, like a webhook, or we can write anything else over here. So if we delete this webhook that we just created and type out a little note for us here saying that what we want to do. And what we want to do is create an SMS notification and email notification to a set of subscribed users to see that a new donation is made. And what we'll need to do for that is set up a few accounts. So let's go ahead and do that next. Let's go over here into the other tab I have running and look at all these accounts we need. So first of all, we need SendGrid, so it's our API for sending emails. We have a full video of it on the YouTube channel, so you can go ahead and look at how you set it up. But eventually you'll need to go here when you have an account and create an API key from over here. And you create an API key, and we show you how to do it in the other video. So just go check that out. Type SendGrid email Moralis Web3 on YouTube. You should find it. But most important is you get this API key and store it somewhere safe. In addition to the email messaging, we'll need SMS messaging, which we can do with Twilio. And you should be able to create an account here as well. And then it will give you your console of your first Twilio account. It'll be a trial account at first. If you want to, and you're planning on sending multiple messages, upgrade to the plans they have set. But with the trial account, you already get $10. And you can set a phone number from over here, buy a number, which allows you to select which country you want to send the SMS messages from, and then that will be your designated SMS sending number, and if I look at our active numbers over here, I've bought one, and we send our SMS from this number, and we also get this account SID, which is important for us when we actually do want to end up sending these messages. Now, looking at how we bring these both together, we can use something called OneSignal. So if you go over here and go OneSignal, we can open OneSignal. This is actually the service we'll be able to send post requests to send emails and SMS when our smart contract event triggers our cloud function on the Moralis server. So again, you'd sign up, and after you sign up, you'll come to this onboarding of OneSignal, and you create an app name. We'll call it the SMS test. And you can't originally create both email and SMS. You can add email later on. So we'll just start with the SMS to start off. We configure our platform. And here you'll need to bring in your Twilio account SID and Twilio auth token, which I just now copy and pasted from the Twilio dashboard. And we can next add our phone numbers. It'll automatically find the Twilio phone numbers that we've got. So we use that. And next, add subscribers. Now here you're able to set all the receivers of your notification. So if you've gathered a long list of SMS, you can actually upload the whole CSV, but as we only have one number, I'll just add my own phone number over here and submit that. And now we're finished. We can go to our SMS test dashboard. Very cool. This allows us now to go to the settings over here and look at the keys and IDs. And now we have a OneSignal app ID and a REST API key, which is sort of our password to be able to access this app. And now we've done enough setting up of accounts that we can move back to our Moralis admin dashboard and our cloud functions and start looking at how to make a HTTP post request to OneSignal to actually send an SMS. So let's get into that now. We have very good and clear documentation on how to do this, but basically it is a moralis.cloud.http request. And what this takes inside of it is a method, which will be post, and then we'll need a URL. We'll get that in a bit. So where are we sending this post request to? And then the body, we'll do that in a bit as well. And then, of course, we'll need the headers. And in the headers, it'll be an object, and that will have inside the content type, and close that. That will be application/JSON. And in addition to that, we'll need to provide the authorization. So authorization. And as I talked to you about that REST API key we had, we'll have to get that from OneSignal. So if we open that, we get the OneSignal dashboard, and we have this REST API key. So we copy that, go back to our cloud function, and then we type basic and paste our REST API key and close that. Next, we can get our URL from the documentation for OneSignal creating notifications. So when we want to do a post, we call the HTTP OneSignal API v1 notifications, copy that, go back, and the URL for our HTTP request will be that. And now for the body. What OneSignal requires for the body of the HTTP request is an object that has a couple of parameters. It needs an app ID, which we can get. Then we'll need a, let's just put this nice, app ID. We'll need the contents and included segments. Don't worry, we'll go over these one by one segments. And then we can, of course, pass other arguments as well. But we can actually create an own variable for this. Ooh. So if we go over here and say let data equal this. So for the app ID, simple enough. We go back here to our app, one signal app ID. We can copy that and add that into our app ID over here. And for the contents, it takes an object where we have to provide what language the contents is in. This is just what one signal provides. And then we'll to provide the contents of the notification. So let's say hello. And then for included segments over here, we can go back to our one signal dashboard and look at the audience tab over here. And this has all the segments, and the subscribed users is the one that has that SMS account that we already set up. So we use subscribed users as the segments we want to send our notification to. So we just call an array. This has to be an array. Ooh. All right. And subscribed users. Now that should have the bare minimum for our cloud function, and then we just call that in data over there. This is of course only the bare minimum that one signal asks for, and because we're wanting to send SMS, we need to provide a few other parameters, namely a name, which indicates that we're sending an SMS notification, and then we need a SMS from parameter where we provide the number we've bought in Twilio. So just like that. Now we should be set. Oh, of course we want to do an async because we are calling a HTTP request. And now we should be ready. This would be the bare minimum for sending a hello message anytime this new donations is triggered. So anytime we get a transaction on the blockchain, on the contract we made, we'll send our subscribed users, which is my number, a hello message. So if we save that and watch it save, now we go to our dashboard, look at our donations. We have that one that we made at the very start when we were testing this out. We can go ahead and open up the smart contract again, which is over here. And before we try and do this donation, let me open up my phone once again. There we go. Make sure they both fit on the screen like so. Make that bigger. All right. And now we have to actually connect to Web3 over here. Okay. So now we have our MetaMask connected to Polygon Scan over here, and we can try and make a new donation. Let's make a donation of 3 Matic. We're feeling generous. Write that. Do we want to submit 3 Matic? Confirm. And now, if we did everything right, after that's done pending, great, that's done. And now we should be able to get a notification here in any moment now. And look at this. The messages came through. If we opened up, look at this, sent from Twilio, trial account, hello. But you see we get 2 messages. So we'll have to see why this is happening. If we go back to our donations over here, our data table, we refresh that. So we get our new object over here that has, of course, the amount, the 3 Matic that we sent, and the from address. But this confirmed column over here on the right is true. And when this object is initially created, it's undefined because we want to make sure with Moralis that the block is actually kept on the blockchain and there's not 2 different chains, that one would be discarded. So we wait for a couple of blocks to be added and only then change this to true. So effectively, this new donations data table saves twice, causing us to trigger our cloud function twice. So we have to make a little bit of logic to get rid of that over here in our cloud function. So as we're actually providing the request as a parameter, the before say function, we can make a constant called confirmed to check if request dot object, and then we can get the confirmed column. So this will give us whether or not it is true that it's actually on the blockchain, our data. And now we just put all of this data into a conditional. If confirmed, we present it, and if not, we don't do anything. So now we should only get one message before save. So initially, when it goes to our database, it won't send us a message because we'll actually check that it's actually the transaction has been confirmed on the blockchain. And then after that is confirmed, we'll actually get this text message. Now we can also use the same logic to create it's not request, it's request. This request logic to create a more personalized text message based on the new donation that's just arrived. So what we do is we copy this, and rather than looking for the confirmed column, we can look at the amount column and get the amount. And then we can do another one where we get the from column and get the from address. And now we can create a message that is equal to new donation of amount in Matic, because we've deployed the contract on the Matic testnet, and from is going to be the from address. So now you'll get this more personalized message, as I showed you in the intro, of how much has been donated and who actually donated, rather than just giving this generic hello response. So we can just put message over here. Save that. Watch it save. And do the same thing with our contract over here. Send a donation of, let's say, 2, or let's say send 1 Matic. Write that. Confirm. And now if we did everything right, we should soon get a message. Now there it is. Look at this. A personalized notification message. New donation of 1 Matic. The 1 Matic we just sent from this address has been sent to my SMS relatively instantly. How cool is that? All done using Moralis, listening to on-chain events, and being able to automatically send SMS to your subscribers. Now say instead of SMS subscribers, we had email subscribers. Let's see how we do that. We open back up OneSignal and we go to settings. We already set up send grid at the start of the video. So you'd go over here to email and email configurations, press send grid, continue, send grid API key. So you'd get that from your send grid dashboard. And then you paste it over here like so. Press continue. Default from name. Who do you want to send your emails from? So let's say Moralis donations, and default from email will be the email you have set up with SendGrid, which for my case is my own Moralis email. Done. And now you can do the same thing of importing emails. So if you have a massive list of emails, you could upload that as a CSV. So we'll do that in this case. Now here in the top, I have a tab open in Google Sheets with this column name email and this massive list of 1 email that we can receive test emails to. So we'll do a file, download, comma separated values. And now we have that. We go back over here, upload CSV. So we can upload our emails, upload a CSV. So if we choose a file, go to downloads, it was, I think, this one. We open it up and upload complete. Found our emails, and we can create a new segment name for this. So let's call it sub emails. Confirm and update. And that's basically it. Now we've set up our email in the same OneSignal account. So we have email and SMS available, and in our audience, we have in our email, sub-emails segment, we have that 1 email. So we can go ahead and head back over to our Moralis admin dashboard and send emails rather than SMS. So back here in my Moralis dashboard, I'll just show you that I have this temporary email that I set as the receiver over here, where we have a empty inbox. That this is where we're going to receive our emails. So if we go back to our Cloud Functions and see what we can do. So first of all, we know that the app ID will be the same. The included segments, we changed to subs email.
Now the name, we won't be sending SMS, we'll be sending an email. The SMS from category, we won't need, so we'll remove this. And by the way, this is all in the OneSignal API documentation for you to go over in your own time. But for email, we'll require an email underscore body, and then we'll require a email underscore subject. And let me think, do we need something else? No, I think that is it. But interestingly, so as we're sending an email, not an SMS, the contents won't actually be available. So we can just put whatever we want over here. So let's just say a notification is coming through, and the email body will in essence be that same message that we want to send, that a donation has come through, and the subject of the email can especially, like we know, be a new donation received. And that is all you really have to do to change your notifications from being an SMS to an email. How easy and cool is that? Let's try if this works. So if we save the file, now that's saved, we can go back to our smart contract, do a new donation, say donate to Matic, write that, confirm, and wait for that to confirm. Still pending. Very cool, that went through. And now if we go head over to our temp email, doesn't seem to be here yet, but that is because we just made a new donation. Let's just see that it went through. Yeah, so we got a new donation over here, and it's undefined. So we, as you remember, in our cloud function, we made it conditional that it has to be confirmed before we actually get this response. So we'll have to wait for that to be confirmed. So let's go over here and wait for that. And that changed to true. Okay, so if we go to our temperature email, oh, it's still showing empty. What is going on? If we go back, look at our function. Included segments, we said subs emails. It was sub emails was the actual segment name that we set. So if we save that, wait for that to go through, and go through the same process, send a new donation. I'll just quickly go through this. And now, when this new donations data frame updates to true on this most recent object, we should get a new email. So let's wait for that. And that has now turned to true. So if we go to our temp email, moment of truth, Moralis donations, new email, look at that. New donation of 2 Matic from the address that we sent it from, and there's also a unsubscribe option. So how cool is that? We've gone through this cool use case for Moralis where if you have a email or SMS list you want to send notifications to, you can use Moralis to listen to the blockchain, listen if there's any events, transfers, or transactions you think are noteworthy, and then send notifications to the people you have in your subscribed emails or SMS. So very cool. I hope you take this into good use, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.